For decades, Venezuela has been at the center of tension between Washington and Latin America. Sanctions, economic pressure, covert operations, military warnings. Yet one question has never disappeared. Has the United States ever seriously planned a military invasion of Venezuela? And if so, what would those plans actually look like? This documentary examines the real strategies, military logic, political motivations, and global consequences behind U.S. intervention plans against Venezuela, separating facts from speculation and history from propaganda. Venezuela is not just another country. It holds the largest proven oil reserves on Earth, more than Saudi Arabia. For decades, Venezuelan oil supplied the United States directly. That relationship collapsed as political tensions grew. After the rise of Hugo Chavez and later Nicolás Maduro, Venezuela adopted policies openly hostile to U.S. influence, aligning with Russia, China, Iran, and Cuba. From Washington's perspective, Venezuela became an energy wildcard, a geopolitical rival in the Western Hemisphere, a symbol of resistance to U.S. dominance in Latin America. This made Venezuela strategically important and politically dangerous. Contrary to popular belief, the United States has never officially declared war on Venezuela. Instead, it has used pressure-based strategies, economic sanctions, diplomatic isolation, support for opposition movements, legal indictments against Venezuelan leaders, military signaling through regional deployments. This approach follows a long-standing U.S. doctrine: destabilize first, intervene last. Military invasion has always been treated as a final option, not a first move. When analysts talk about U.S. invasion plans, they are not referring to a single secret document. They mean contingency planning. Every major military power prepares for scenarios that may never happen. In Venezuela's case, U.S. planning focuses on securing oil infrastructure, neutralizing air defenses, controlling ports and airports, preventing foreign military involvement, managing mass migration, and humanitarian fallout. These plans exist on paper, constantly revised, not as orders, but as options. Military experts agree on one thing: if the United States ever intervened militarily, it would not begin with ground troops. It would start with cyber operations to disable communications, air and naval dominance in the Caribbean precision, strikes on command centers, rapid control of key infrastructure. Ground forces would only follow after resistance was weakened, and only if a political transition was already underway. This would be a limited, fast, highly controlled operation, not a prolonged occupation. Despite its power, the United States faces serious risks in Venezuela. An invasion could trigger regional instability, strengthen anti-U.S. sentiment in Latin America, invite indirect involvement from Russia or China, create a massive refugee crisis, damage global energy markets. History has shown that toppling governments is easier than rebuilding nations. This is why Washington has consistently chosen pressure over invasion. Under international law, military intervention without UN approval is highly controversial. Any invasion of Venezuela would face global condemnation, legal challenges, diplomatic backlash. Even U.S. allies remain divided on intervention. The world today is more multipolar, and unilateral action carries greater consequences than ever before. The idea of a U.S. invasion of Venezuela has existed for years, not as a plan waiting to be launched, but as a strategic shadow shaping decisions on both sides. Venezuela represents more than oil. It represents power, influence, and the limits of intervention in the modern world. The real question is not whether the United States can invade Venezuela. It is whether the cost, political, human, and global, would ever be worth it. Understanding geopolitics means looking beyond headlines into strategy, history, and consequences. Because in global conflicts, the most dangerous plans are often the ones that never become public.